Now we're
no. Okay.
Now we're live on our other channels.
So hi, we're live big time, and it's still Gus's birthday, and I'm still gonna keep mentioning that. You're like, stop. Okay, so you're responsible for every aspect of your life. And I'll tell you that when I first heard that, I was a little ticked because I thought that's not fair. I can't keep things from happening to me. I can't control everybody else around me. But then the more I embraced the concept, I realized the person I can control is me. There's a lot of power there. Take it away, Gus.
What do I have to say?
I don't know.
You're responsible for every aspect of your life. It's the good news. It's the bad news. It's once you figure this out.
It's the bad news, and then it becomes the good news.
It's the bad news, and it becomes the good news. Once you figure it out and embrace it, life becomes easier. You know, we have
because you're choosing instead of reacting.
Yeah, and you know, even we own, it's no secret, we own a company, we own a couple companies. When something doesn't go right in the company, or an employee doesn't do something the first time as I anticipate it,
we have a little fit.
I blame myself. I did not explain this properly. I did not give proper, clear delegation on it. I did not explain the goal or the outcome, the desired outcome of the project. And I blame myself, and I go from there.
Which is actually easier in the, if you're really looking at it, it's easier to do that and take control and responsibility for it than it is to say, oh my gosh, this employee obviously has no idea what we're trying to do, and this is ridiculous. And then you're like, it takes longer.
They're trying to sabotage the company.
It takes longer to deal with that than if you just dive in and say, it's my responsibility that this didn't happen the way it's supposed to, so I'm going to happen.
I had a real world situation back in August, and some of you know this. We had a medical situation with my parents, and it required Ashley and I to drive 1,100 miles to Florida to step in and take care of things. During that drive down there, I was pissed at myself that I had not foresaw, that I didn't see this coming. I blame myself for being put in a position that was that. I should have had something in place for just that scenario. I didn't see that scenario coming down the pipe. Another one, I was pissed at COVID. I had aligned my company and 7 companies to ward off any type of economic situation that might occur. I had positioned myself. Never imagined.
Except the part about meeting people meeting in person.
People meeting in person. Never imagined we couldn't meet in person. So, and I was pissed at myself, with the mentality. And I say, no, I've been doing it for 10 years now. I came to me 10 years ago that I'm responsible for every aspect of my life. I blame myself for stuff like that.
Well, and in one of the tips, so in the process of talking about you are 100% responsible for every aspect of your life, one of the things we want to do is to equip you with some tools that can actually help you kind of take bolder action with that. And one of the things that you had mentioned in here, and we'll get to it, but I just want to say, don't beat yourself up, right? I mean, you can't foresee everything that's going to happen, but you can say, oops, should have seen that coming, didn't, okay, now what? Instead of
learn from every situation.
Right. But don't spend all of your time and energy focused on, oh, I should have had this. This should have been right. Focus more on, okay, it happened. What can I do next? So anyway, with that, what would you told us a great story. So one of the things that Gus has mentioned about sort of around this topic is you have options. You may not like them, but you have options. So we hear from a lot of people who say, oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this situation. I can't leave. I can't go change anything. I have to take this situation as it is and just live with it. You probably don't. As I said, there are options. You may not like them, but it might be an opportunity for you to either open yourself up to entertaining some of those options that may feel like a step back, for a little bit, but could take you to, actually get you closer to your goal and living the way that you want to live instead of feeling so trapped. So you have options.
Mm-hmm.
You have options.
So let's get into the tools.
Yes.
Stay organized. Get your act together. Clean your desk up. Make things easier and less stressful for your life. If there's a pain point in your life, stop. The same thing keeps happening every time, and it could be something huge. It could be something small. Figure out a way around it. Figure out, like, if this ideal was in a perfect situation, how would I handle it? What would I do with it? I have a rule, especially when my kids were younger. Something would come into our lives, whether it be a toy or a new person or something, and then the family would be arguing about this whatever it was.
So you guys bought a toy at a like a tag sale, garage sale,
and all of a sudden the kids are arguing over it.
They were fighting over it. Gus removed the hostage.
I threw the toy out the window.
Hey, 30 seconds ago, this wasn't even an issue.
This wasn't an issue in my life 30 seconds ago. Now it's an issue. Goodbye.
Okay, we'll get rid of that.
I hear people do this with animals. Like, they get a dog, and then all of a sudden their whole life is disrupted, and they're like, "Oh, bye, puppy. Too bad."
Oh my God.
You gotta send the doggy away.
Oh.
But anyway, so staying organized. One of the things you can do to help you, if you're carrying anything in your brain,
you're probably carrying things in your brain.
You gotta let that stuff go. And one of the ways you can let this go is I do what I call a brain dump. I have a legal pad of paper, and I use it for all my notes and everything. And I'll set a timer 15, 20 minutes and just write down everything going on in my life. Whether it's a car that needs to get to the shop, whether it's something that needs to be painted in the house, whether it's a deal that has to be closed in the business that I've been putting off, all this stuff piles in your brain.
You need to reorder business cards.
Yeah, see that? I need to, you know what? Never got that email.
I need to schedule a haircut.
I need to get business cards. I've been stretching for 2 days.
But it's like, okay, I've got so much going on that if I just write it all down, then I have it all written down, and I can actually organize it.
An interesting thing.
Tackle it and get in action.
You're not going to get all these things done now, or probably not even this month. The reality is, if you look at some of these things, you prioritize the top 3 things, you're going to get the most important things done. And when you have this same brain dump 2 weeks from now,
there'll be different things.
There'll be things on that list that cured themselves, that took care of themselves, that is no longer your issue. Someone else is taking over for it.
I like that.
I had it happen to me yesterday.
What happened?
The name badges for the event coming up. I was stressing out trying to get them through, and I kept the online ordering system didn't work. And then I sent an email. I didn't hear from them. And finally, our project manager was like, "Gus, do you want me to handle this?"
Yes. Thank you.
Take it off my plate,
yes,
please. Yes.
We haven't heard back from her.
We have. We actually heard.
Oh, good.
So it's all good.
Great.
So along with this, write another thing.
Write everything down.
Keep you positive.
Yes.
Something to keep you positive.
Yes.
Write down your goals on a daily basis.
Yes.
And if something goes wrong in your life, or you get a little setback somehow, write down your goals.
Down again. Write your goals down. Remember
why you're doing this.
Remember why you're doing this. Remind yourself of your purpose every day. The more you do that, the more you will be able to look at that list of a million things and discern which ones are really the priority items and which ones are not, and where to focus your time and your energy. I know I get into it. We all get into it. We have so many devices, so many different social media channels, so many opportunities to get different messaging from all different types of places. It's important to focus. It's important to focus on what your goal is. It's important to focus to remind yourself why you're doing this. What is your purpose? What is your mission? And what are the things that you need to do to get those items done so that you can, look at some other stuff. But yeah,
right.
Yeah, sure. So the next one was, is this the self-review?
Yeah.
Okay. So do a self-review and be honest, but don't beat yourself up. So just write out like how things are going, how you're doing, how you feel you're doing. How are you really doing in terms of achieving the goals that you want to achieve? And again, it's not an opportunity to beat yourself up about it. It's more of an opportunity to just be very honest and say, okay, whatever it is that I'm doing right now is not getting me to the goal for my purpose or my mission. So I need to change tracks here, or I need to start adding some different actions. But it's just taking that opportunity to kind of reflect, take inventory of what's going on, where your energy is happening, and then just adjust it so that you can start going in the right direction.
I know one thing we have something around that. Sometimes we have an event coming up, and the ticket sales are not where they should be, and going back to 100% responsible for everything. We'll look at it and go like, well, ticket sales aren't where they should be because we have not done enough of the work, or enough of the work and the quantity is great enough to get them where they need to be.
Or we haven't reached out to the right people, or we haven't reached out to enough people, or whatever the equation is. That's that moment.
We're reviewing our actions that we did not do correctly. And then going, okay, what are we going to do to fix it? We can't be like,
shift gears.
You can't be like, I suck. I can't believe this.
Right. We're not going to, don't throw in the towel. Don't quit, but just figure out what it is that you need to do to move forward in a more efficient and impactful manner. And frankly, the moment that you do that, you're going to have more confidence because you're not just throwing stuff at this and seeing what sticks. You're actually taking a more strategic approach to what you have in front of you.
Next.
What's next?
Be the most trustworthy person you know.
What do you mean by that?
If someone asks you to do something, or could you help with this, or be at a meeting on time, it's a really pet peeve of mine. The meeting starts at 5, get there at 5. Get there a quarter of 5. You got this device that you can occupy 15 minutes of your time. Be on time. Do what you say you're going to do. Also, be respectful and trustworthy to yourself. If a task is handed to you, or you say you're going to do something and you know you can't do it, say no in the beginning, or right away say, hey, you know what? I took on this responsibility. I made a mistake. Would it be okay if we find someone else to do this responsibility? And come up with that solution. Figure out how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I like that. And also just, again, know that the one person that you can count on the most is yourself. Like, if I need a certain routine in the morning that gets me started off to having a more successful day, then be that person who's responsible for your routine. Protect it. Make sure that you're doing it so that when you're going to be more confident in the decisions that you make, you're going to be more confident in every action that you take, and that will lead to success. What's next?
Manage your time wisely.
What a great idea.
I
have to tell you, I'm not always great at that.
You can use some more work on that?
What I've learned is when I do follow a schedule, I'm much better at getting things done. Like if I follow my routine, I get up early, I go for my run.
So you know the best way to do that?
Tell me.
I'm going to give you a little.
Ooh, it's cool.
I'm going to give you some feedback, which is for the next one.
Okay.
Write down your schedule the night before. I'm going for a run. I'm waking up at 6:30. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready between 6:30 and 6:15 to go, or 6:45 to go for my run. I'm going for my run, and I'll be back here at 7:30. I'm going to eat breakfast, shower, get ready to go. I'm on the phone making phone calls at 9 a.m. or whatever it is. But write the whole day out. Do it in 6-minute increments where you see how powerful you're coming. You're going to chew up time and eat that up, and it's going to be like nobody's business. Anyway, devote most of your time to making yourself a better you. Make you a better you. Devote most of your time to doing that. Whether that's increasing your wealth, increasing your knowledge, increasing your physical fitness, improving your diet, improving your relationships. Spend your time with that. Turn off the TV. Schedule a time to check email.
I love that because I don't do that. And then I realize I just spent an hour looking at email.
And today she's telling me, hey, did you know you can wrap a car? It hurts.
Like, what is she talking about?
Oh, that's a really cool idea. Like, wrap a car, it hurts. So let's do that. 8 minutes later, we're still talking about wrapping the damn car. It hurts. And it's like, oops, what happened there?
It was a cool idea, though. It was a good marketing idea. But I am the queen of distraction. So the more routine I can make my day for myself, the more productive I am and the better impact I make. And again, it's not about telling myself what I'm doing wrong. It's about steering myself to focus on what I can do right and do well. And it's not about good or bad. It's about impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
So what else?
Listen to feedback. And listen to feedback with an open mind. If you can take one piece of a little bit of advice when listening to feedback, just open your mind to the possibility that there's a different way of doing it. You don't have to commit to doing it the different way.
Listen.
Just listen.
Consider.
Ask questions.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Why do you think that's a better way to do it?
Like our buddy and mentor will say, the quality of your questions will determine the quality of your answers.
Yes.
It's very, very true to that.
Well, and I think the other side of that, and you had mentioned this, is don't be a know-it-all. Like there's a way that you can come to these things with curiosity, or you can come to them with arrogance. And if you're arrogant, you're not paying attention, you're not listening, you think you do it right all the time. Let's face it, we've all seen enough disruption in our businesses and in our lives in the past couple of years that I hope that at least one of the biggest takeaways for us is that we've learned we're not perfect. There's something else out there to learn. And the more open we are to it, the more likely we'll be able to actually profit from that, right?
Yeah, we were talking with someone a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about technology coming down the road in business, and Ashley and I are already using the technology. This is going to happen. This is going to come around. This is
right.
Going to.
It's
I can't
so
share.
new.
I can't share what it is, but
it's so not new.
I couldn't even tell.
We're already using.
I couldn't even tell them that it's already in action on our platform that we use. Anyway. It's. But I listen. Like, well, tell me, what do you mean by that? And how do you? What's the outcome? What's the purpose of that? And what would be
something to learn? And there's always value to gain from listening to other perspectives.
If you're not,
even if you're not going to end up using that idea.
If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. The world is what's the word I'm looking for? The world is awash in change. Everything changes. Mm-hmm. You're right. Here's a really cool thing. We travel so much, but we're not like away all the time. We're never away more than like 10 days. We go away and we come back home from the airport to 30 miles or whatever it is from the airport to here. We see stuff like, oh, look what they built. Look at that. It's new. Oh, that's different. Oh, look what the neighbors did.
It's a completely different perspective. Because we're not seeing it every day.
You're not seeing it every day.
You see the changes.
You see the changes. Changes don't happen. They either happen gradually or within a case of like a hurricane can make big changes on the landscape.
Right.
So it's either like real slow and you don't notice it, or it's like catastrophic changes that just make things better.
So not so much the sands of time. It's more like the big chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway.
So this is some tips to take control of your life. And the sooner you do it, the better it is. Again, it feels a little weird at first, but once you develop the muscle to really just take charge of the things that are important to you and important to you in your family and your priorities in your business, you will find life's a lot more pleasant. Yeah. It may not be easier, but you're focusing on the right stuff.
Yes. Let's hear your own points. Put them in the comments on whatever platform you're on. We're streaming on multiple platforms here. Also, if you're on our YouTube channel, hit subscribe and like, please. We beg that of you. And we also have an ask, my birthday ask. Please register someone from your team for the Power Conference to Advanced Women at theadvancedconference.com. Appreciate that.
Do you want me to talk a little bit about it?
No.
Okay.
We're good. We got enough.
Right.
If you can scroll through my feed, either one up and down, you're going to see information
you'll
on
see
the Advanced Conference. I apologize in advance, but I believe so strongly in this product and that people need it. That's why we're pushing so hard. So
yes, and it's so helpful and it's so valuable to so many people. That's why we're pushing.
And 90% of the country, the weather will be better in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area that'll be where you're living right now. I say the country, even if you're in Canada, I think we might have some coming over from
Get
Europe
your
to come to this
butt
event.
to
So
Hollandale Beach, Florida, and
we want to see you.
it'll be cool. So,
All right.
guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Do you have any parting comments?
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you for
birthday,
your time.
Gus.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I
joining us.
appreciate it.
Wow.
I'm glad to be here.
Be well.